Hello guys and welcome back in my YouTube channel. Today we will continue the series about how to make an application with tkinter. In the previous video we saw how to create a simple tkinter window with one button, and today we are going to edit this button to make it bigger and colored, and we will also create a frame class and we will link the frame with the button. Of course, we have also to initialize in the new frame in our main window, in our TK master window. So let's start to edit the button. First of all, we can use a different method to place it on the window. We can use the .place method, which takes two arguments, rel x and rel y. Both of them are in range 0, 1. In fact, we are considering the x and y coordinates as percentage based on the geometry of the window. So for example, if we set 0.5 here and also here, we will have the top left corner of the button at the center of the screen. So as you can see here, we have this top left corner at the center of the window, and if we change the geometry, the button will keep its property, its position at the center. So if I, for example, 600 and here 400, the button is always in the center, and this is so much useful in some case. Okay, now we are ready to edit the button more in deep. Let's change the text first. And here we write, for example, date view, because we want to build a frame into visualize our datas, maybe to insert a tree view, and we will see this in the next video. Then we can add a parameter for the color, so background, and we can use the wet color with. And also we can add a color when the button is pressed, so active background, for example light green. Then we can also edit the font, like so. Font equals the first element is the font name, in this case Lucida console, and the second element is the font size, in this case 16. And another thing to edit is the relief. Some options are solid, flat, raised, or ridged. We can use, for example, solid, and then we can change it if we don't like. And finally we can edit the dimension of the button. Right here inside the place method. We can change our height, for example 300, and our height, for example 30, and based on this change of the dimension, and based on this change of the dimension, you can see that the button is too much on the right, so we can change the rel x parameter. Okay, I think 0.4 here. Okay, let's come back again to 500. Okay, perfect. This is our original window, 500 per 500. Here there is our button, and as you can see, the color is white, and if we press it, the color became light green. So now we create a new class, which will be the one linked with the button, as we did with the main window class. In short, we can copy this line and just edit the object. In this case, we will have frame here and also over there. And here inside the init method, I place these new parameters, parent and controller. and I will explain you what these are. For now, follow me with these lines. Data view, and also here data view. Okay, and now all works fine. And just to see the transition, we can place here in the data view frame a label at the top, which will show the frame's name. We also add some feature to make it cooler. I can even copy this and paste here, and I place here a new text, in this case data view, which is the name of the frame, and as a relief I can use this time ridge, and the .pack method is useful this time, but I had some feature like side, top. So in this way we have our label on the top. To see you this change, for now I put here in the main window, so this is our label, and I also had the option to fill equals X. This we have these lines that start from the left and go to the right. Also the font here, font equals Lucida console 16, and here we have our label, so put this label here inside our data view frame. Okay, now we are ready to load the frame in our main window, and we're ready to raise it with the button. So go in the main window class and create a function. I usually call it task because I insert here some stuff to do at the start of the application. We have to pass the container parameters. Then we have to load the frame. So our frame is equal to our class data view, and we have to pass our parent, which is the container, our controller, which is self. I will explain you later. Then we have to place the frame over the main window. Grid row equals 0, column equals 0, and then we have to sticky north, south, east, west, and then we can raise our frame. tk.raise. Perfect. Then we load this function in the command, in the button, because we need to pass a variable to the function. We use lambda of Python to link the function to the command. So we have lambda, and then we have self.task, and we pass our container. Otherwise, as I showed you on the previous video, every time you launch the application, this action will be executed, and we don't want this. So now you might ask, what is this container variable? Well, actually, I am creating a big frame in which I'm putting all the widgets and all the new frame coming in the future. So, as the name suggests, it is a container, a big box. We can define it inside the init method of the main window class. So we have container equals frame, and we have to place it on self. Then we have container.pack, and we have side top, Then we have to fill all the window, so both. We can use the option both in these parameters, and then expand equals true. Then also here we can we have to add an option as we did in the task function. We have to use the grid method, in particular read configure grid configure. We have to put here 0 and then wait equals 1. No, equals 1. I said 1. And then container dot grid column configure grid column configure 0 weight equals 1. Okay, now if you click the button, you will see that a new label appears at the bottom of the window, and the button will still remains. So, oh, sorry, I row configure. Okay, now if I click the button doesn't disappear, and the label of our data view class is placed at the bottom. In fact, the button is automatically loaded in the main TK window. Otherwise, we want to use the container created before. So we go in the button properties, and as first parameter, we write container. And now if you click the button, a new label is shown and the buttons go away. What is really happening is that the data view frame is on top in the first layer and the button is below. To complete this tutorial, we can create a button to go back to our main menu where the button lives. We can create another button in the data view class and a function to come back on the main menu. So we can here create a back button, text equals go back, font equals Lucida console 16. Okay. Okay, also here background oh yeah, I forgot to place it button. Okay, so background equals silver, and relief equals groove. Okay, why we are not seeing our button and why our label is on the bottom? Because as we did before with the button in our main TK window, we have to specify the container in which to place the widget. In this case, the label is self, which self indicates the frame itself. And now another self here, self. Okay, now, okay, perfect. We see our label on the top and the button back button dot pack, I think is okay. Perfect. Here we have our go button. Yes, active background, we can see light blue. Why not? Perfect. We can also add an option to our back button because it's too near to the label. We can use a pad Y, for example 10. In this case, we create a space between the two widgets over the Y axis, as you can see here. The function, of course, def back to main menu self dot destroy, and command over there self dot back dot back to main menu. Perfect, all works fine. And here it is. We are finally ready to go to the creation of a tree view to display a pandas data frame inside the TK inter. But this is a topic for the next video. So please like the video if you found it useful and share it with other people. Of course, feel free to leave a comment down below with your thought or whatever you want to see in the next videos. And bye. Thank you for watching.